Hello and welcome to the channel. So we have a Dynacord PowerMate 1000, but I've got a feeling that this isn't going to be my mate at all. So this has got intermittent left channel, and it's more than likely dry joints. The two people have looked at this desk as well, and I've not managed to fix it. So yeah, I think the other two that looked at it, the most they did was sprayed contact cleaner into it, and I can actually smell the contact cleaner, and that's with the lid on it. So I've got to strip this apart somehow, fathom out how it comes apart, and you know what it's like when you're working on mixers. Even a passive mixer is bad enough, but this being a powered one, it's going to take quite a bit of stripping down to find the faults. So basically I'm just looking at what we've got here. So we've got we've got 10 channels, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, so the last two are shared. We've got some sliders missing there, auxiliary 3 sliders, the knob on the slider rather is missing. Monitor out's missing, and channel 1 you can't just pull back. You can't see the sliders, can you? It's that big. There we go. So that's missing, knob missing there. So those 3 are missing. Everything else, just check. Yeah, go through all of those and check those. I think that's enough on film. We'll check those. Yeah, a little bit stiff they are, but yeah, just been set in the middle. So what I'm going to do now is have a look and try and fathom out how to get into this. So let's just lift it up first of all and see what we've got on the bottom. Screw missing there. By the way, is that a screw missing? Not sure. No, it's just a hole. So we've got some screws here. Probably going to be hard for you to see, but we've got some screws here. But we can't get the bottom off because we've got the bolt for the toroidal. So that's a real problem. So we can't get the bottom off, and that's probably why no one's really been dead keen on fixing this, because when you're stripping them down from the top, it's much more difficult. So what we'll do is I'll get these screws out, and what's these things on the side? We'll get these side things off as well, side panels, so I'm guessing they've got to come off. Right, so I've got this, finally got this up, and crikey, I've never seen so many screws. So, and if we look, you can see, so this is in 4 sections. We've got some ribbon cables there, and you can see we haven't even started to get into it from there. So I need to get these ribbon cables off and unplug this top part so we can get to the amplifier. Right, so you can see there we've got the mixer out, and now we've got to try and make a start. I presume we'll have to take those off there, because we've got to get this up next and see what's under there with more screws. Right, we've just got to be careful we don't damage those ribbon cables while we're lifting this out. You're joking me. So we've got a couple of screws in here, probably hard to see properly, and here, and they're stopping this coming out. So unless I can slide that up, and I can't, so we're not going to get that out, I don't think, with those bolts there, or are we? No, we're not. And there's 4 of them. So now I've got to find those bolts here and here, and those look like these here, and I think they're on, they're stars, things, whatever they are, I don't know what to call them now. I think I've got some of those somewhere. Right, what I've done with those is loosened them off, so let's see if we can lift this out. Or have we got more to take apart? Looks like it's going to have to slide out from the front. Watch those ribbon cables. My word. And I end up stripping all of this down. I can see it coming. These sides won't come out either, because they are, or will they? Oof. I'll have to come out. Will it come out that way? There we go. Just a matter of figuring it out. And there's another reason why we need to get inside here, because I mean, somebody's saying, well, it might, you know, I'll be thinking, well, it might be in the mixer part. It may be in the mixer part, but look at that mess. You know, this is in, to be checked to a service. So this here, you can see this is a fire risk. With all this dust in here, this is serious, and this has never been cleaned out. You can see we just go in. And if we look, you can see it's seriously battered here. That can't be left. You can't put something like this on your bench and you know, find a simple fault and then just send it back out like this. There's just no way. So we need to clean all of this out, and chances are that the you know, the fault could be on this board. It could be, I mean, all of this here, this is all the heatsink for the transistors, and there's absolutely bucket loads under there. So we've got to fathom out how to strip all that down now, because we're going to have to take these fans off and clean all these fans out. I expected, mind you, no one's been in, as I say, no one's been in this part. Whoever's looked at this mixer has certainly not gone down to the depths that I have. I've got some transistors on there. So we're going to have to get this board out and inspect the bottom of it. And that ain't going to be easy. Can't even see the fixings, but it's like the fixings are in the bottom for they are for this heatsink. So we're going to have to get into this first. I think those sockets are going to have to come off as well to get this panel out, because that board must go right under. See how far that board, I can't see how far that board goes under there. Oh dear. So you know, the fault could quite easily be on the actual mixer boards themselves. You know, we may have to end up stripping those out as well, but we need to check this first, because let's just have a look what we've got here, left and right. So it's left that's the faulty channel apparently. So well, let's get the Hoover in it. I'm not going to film that. It's and we'll see how far we get with it. Check that out. Oh, that yeah, that's a mess in there. So this is about 25 years old, and nobody's been in here for 25 years. There's the fans. I've cleaned the top half of the fans, but the bottom half there. So we've got all that to clean out. We've got that lot to clean there. And we've got I can't read what that says with these glasses on. Is that MJ? I think that's MJ15005022, I think. Can't quite read with these ones on. Need something a bit more potent. So there you can see the board. And also I took these off and I've just popped them back on. Look how corroded they are as well, really corroded. So we need to clean those. Again, there's a lot of things in this amp that it could even be something as simple as one of those being corroded. And this is why people don't want to tattle these. No one wants to open them up and do this work. It's such a nightmare to strip them down, and then when you've cleaned, you've stripped it and you've cleaned it all, you've then got to start looking for faults on it. And there's no point plugging this in, sitting and playing about with it for an hour. When they're like this, you're better off just taking the lid off them and just getting straight into them and just look for any dry joints, whatever, and then get it all back together. And then if you've still got a problem, if you've combed all the boards, then you're looking for a component, and at least the thing's safe. We'll get in there, clean all that out, and then we'll get the board out. We'll get this board out as well and inspect the bottom of that one. We need to get into that corner and make sure there's no gunge in that behind that transformer as well. So by taking that board out, we should be able to get in there okay. And there you go. See the difference? One's cleaned out, one isn't. It's a little bit in these corners and things. It's just keep finding it. So yeah, we'll clean that last one out, and then we pretty much got there with that. We need to clean up the back of this board. There's a bit of stuff, and when we get this board out, we're gonna have to clean all around underneath this board as well. But what we'll do, once I've cleaned this fan, I'm going to take this board out, check all the solder joints on it, make sure it's okay, there's nothing dodgy on it, clean down the back of there, and then put that board back in, and then we can cross that off the list. And then we can get this beast out and inspect it, clean it up and inspect it, make sure there's no dry joints. And you see this, all the gunk had got between these fins on there, and when those fans are actually, when this is in that way, sorry, those fans are mainly over this one, and obviously it blows the heat through these, so it's blowing air through these fins, and obviously they're all blocked off with all blocked up with the gunk and fluff and everything else and dust. So I had to clean those out individually. And again, if this can't get the proper airflow through it, then this is just going to get hot. You're going to end up with one channel hotter than the other. just not running efficiently, which is why we have cooling. So clean this fan out, and then we'll look at getting this board out and inspecting that. I don't foresee any problems on that board, because obviously there'd be, the old mixer would be going down, but we just need to check it. Right, so we're looking at this board now. I've got the fans cleaned out there, cleaned each of the fins on there, and all I did was just put a pen in and just to hold them, and then just hold the hoover over and just wipe it all off with a paintbrush. We got all that out, so that's the result. Time consuming, but got to get it right. So we've got two screws here. Got another one there. I'm not sure what that one's doing. Let's just let's whip those two. Let's whip those two out. On that fixing. Just a grand on there. Oh, that's riveted on there. Oh. What I'll do is get the 6x glasses on, and I'll try and just see if I can peel it back enough to see all around it, make sure all the joints are good. It's clean though, that's the main thing. And it's pretty clean because I did get the brush round the back. In fact, I've left one of the brushes in there. Yeah, a little bit of dust down there, but not a mass amount. So what I'll do is I'm just going to get the 6x glasses. I'm just going to peel this back and just check all these joints. I don't want to disturb that, and I think I can do that all right. Right, got that board back in, and I can see underneath there's nothing, no problems there, no dry joints. The ground pin there, that was corroded, so I've just washed his face with this, and you can see reflection in it now. So I've put that back on. That's all back together, so we can cross that off the list. We can. Now we need to get this board out. It's the next job. So we need to remove those before we do anything. And we've got a few things here to remove. So we'll photograph those so we know where they go. And then we'll look at getting this board out. We've got screws here. Got a bolt going right through here, a ground bolt as well. Can't see that, can you? There we go. We've got these screws here, and then there's a ground bolt going through there we've got to deal with. So we'll have that off, and we'll clean that ground point as well before we put it back, so we know where they go. Green to the right, brown in the middle, green to the left. That's that. Right, so these small screws, you can't see them off camera, but these small screws, they're just holding this heatsink on after closer inspection. So it's these bolts here that I think are holding the board down. And I'm not sure whether that's coming up or not. Sorry about that, just bang the camera. Yeah, they are. Oh, they're on Nylox. There we go. That's one of them. Very carefully get in there and remove him. Yes, well, that's oh, there's two on. So if we go back, there's actually two on the bottom holding this heatsink to the chassis. So there's those as well. So we'll have to hone in on those. Right, we've got this board in. We're going to have to just clean this board before we start. Look, oh dear, we're a bit overexposed there, aren't we? It's just... So, yeah, we're going to have to clean this board. You probably can't tell too much, but when you get in close, you can see there's a film of dust on it. So we're just going to get that off. I'm going to start looking around to see if there's any dry joints. You can see there's still dust in here. Now we can get inside it properly. We can get all of that out. Date here, 7th of the 1st, 1995, by the look of it. 31 years old. Right, we'll clean this off, and then we can start looking for some joints to dry, see if we've got any on this board. Right, we're all cleaned out in here, and we've polished these up as well, because there was corroded. Had a look around the board. I've soldiered a few joints, but I didn't see anything really, you know, that and to be honest, it does look like that it's leaded solder on that particular item, because it's obviously 30 years old, so it's probably just still when they was using leaded solder. So what we're going to do now is put this part of the mixer back together and focus on the actual preamp section of the mixer. And to be honest, I think that's where the fault's going to be found. And I have to say that having had a bit of a look over that board, there's been one or two modifications made as well. But anyway, we've got the board here, so we're going to take us time and get this back together. Be very careful, and because with those bolts sticking up there, if you scrub the bottom of this board along those bolts, you could end up ripping the tracers off underneath, and you won't have any idea you've done it until you plug it in. So you have to be very careful with things like that. The trick is not to over tighten these and bust the board. Right, we've got this in here. We've got this grommet to get back in there, and we just need to screw this panel down here. Right, we've got all the wires back on now. There, we've got the grommet in. It's all clean. Now we've got to try and get this top cover on it. So here's the top, and obviously that needs cleaning first before it goes back on. So I think we'll take that outside and give that a brush down. Right, we've got this all back together, and it's a bit tricky, but we got there in the end. Now somewhere on this board, if we can see, might just go into not whether you can see or not, whether we can get that in focus, but you can actually see. Let me swap glasses. Somebody has been doing a bit of modding. If we look, not easy to hold this up to the camera. Can you see there those jumper cables that's been put across there? Now I think they're across, we just go around, I think they're across the sockets, and I think that's been done on purpose to bridge these sockets across those send and returns. Right, I'm going to run this this mixer up using acoustic guitar. Bit of a weird camera angle. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, because one speaker's facing the wall, one's facing me, so that the one with the left channel is facing me, because that was the faulty channel. Had a bit of a check through, and just about everything seems to be working on it. So we've got a few, again with all this probably switch cleaner being sprayed in, some of these are a bit sticky, and this channel one was a bit intermittent. I think it was those switches on there, and once I worked them a few times, it all seemed to come together. But we'll see, we'll have a bit of a listen. The left channel's not gone off at all, it's been absolutely fine. be working. There we go, that all seems to be running perfectly, but as I say, the customer did say it did run for periods of time quite normal, but whether it was on the power amp section or the preamp section, I don't know. He did say that when he cranked this up, wound up the volume, that the channel would burst to life, so maybe it was on the power amp section. So if you can remember, the speaker terminals on the sockets there were quite corroded, and we did have a bit of a solder around, so maybe we've cured it, or maybe it was something to do with it overheating, with all the gunking, you know, all the dust and stuff, and the fins blocked in the heat sinks. Maybe it's something to do with that, I don't know, but anyway, it seems at the moment it seems all good. But as I say, if you know, if the fault lies in this preamp section and stuff, then that will take quite a bit of finding. And if there's, you know, if it turns out to be a component, I'm going to be struggling to find that, because as I say, I'm not great with this type of stuff. Guitar amplifiers are more my field. These things can be problematic, and to be fair, this is a very complex machine. It's Mendit Mark material, this is, and whilst I'm a competent tech, I'm no Mendit Mark at all. So, but anyway, we seem to have cured it, hopefully, so let's just keep fingers crossed and just see if it behaves itself. All the customer can do now is take it and just run it up and see if it's okay. But the good news is, of course, it's safe now. There's no risk of fire in there or it overheating. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.